everybody, Getting Over Sickness Dylan here. So half of this shit is like pre-recorded because I was going to upload it last week, but something sickness put me aside. Anyway, this is the Raw review for 1/15/2024. Let's get right into it. Starts off with an MLK tribute video, considering this was MLK Day. And then it shows Seth with child and Jinder without child. I don't even know if he has a child, arriving earlier today in their separate vehicles. The show itself starts with Cody coming out, and his pyro is on cue. The first one, like, when he does the arm thing, it actually, like, was in sync with him. As he's coming to the ring, commentary plugs how he wants to win the Rumble. Yeah, no kidding. Also, he hit the whoa pose in the corner. The pyro went off for it, but he didn't hit it in the corner. So, boo. After soaking it in for a little bit, he asks Lil Rock what they want to talk about, the normal Cody shtick. And he talks about how there's a Lil Rock song, apparently, and him defeating Shinsuke. Then he transitions back into Rumble talk, or at least he attempts to before Drew cuts him off. Drew comes to the ring and asks for a mic, and then asks Cody what he wants to talk about. He then says that Cody and him haven't had a chance to catch up yet since Cody's came back. He run down their similarities and said that he's proud of Cody. He starts off reminiscing about their tag team title run back in the day. He says the reason they didn't make it to the top is because they both had to leave WWE and define what it means to make your name outside of WWE. Brings up how they had their last match together outside of WWE, like Drew's last match. He says that Cody will be the first member of his family to win the title one day, but he's not going to finish the story, that Drew's going to finish the story. Cody then retorts afterwards saying Drew could win the Rumble this year, but Jay also could win. Punk also could win. Everybody could win. Yes, that is how a Rumble works. He doesn't plan on letting that happen, but he knows not to count anybody out. Drew says it's not about anybody else except for Cody and Drew. And since Cody wants to follow in Drew's footsteps, he suggests to drop the suit, to drop using the big words, and stop smiling because Drew did it too and it got him nowhere. And if anybody has an issue with the real Cody, step up to them and drop them on their arse. Cody then says this isn't an act, and everything he does, he relishes in, while Drew complains about his second chance. Drew called him a coward and ran him down for bringing Jay over and kissing CM Punk's ass. He then questions on if he's just trying to politic with everybody or what's up. Then he runs down Priest for attempting to cash in at the wrong time, calls him an idiot, and says he wishes that they weren't having this conversation because if Drew was the champion, that they wouldn't be having this conversation. Drew finished by saying Cody stands in his way and he'll run him down and steal his story. Cody then says that they're different because Cody didn't complain. He found a way to carry on. He then asks who won their last match when they had a one-on-one against each other, which the answer was Cody. 4.5 stars. I love it. Love this era. This is a beautiful way to start off the show. Keep it rolling, I hope. We then go backstage to where Truth and Priest are talking. Truth is outside, and Priest ran into him. Priest asks him why he's selling Judgment Day merch in the parking lot, and that enough is enough. Truth then hands him a cut of the money, which shuts him up. Truth then tells him that everybody has their own cut, even Tom and Nick Mysterio. He asks if Nick's okay because he couldn't find him on Facebook. Priest then tells Truth that it's okay to do this, just don't tag in for tonight for their match. And as he exits, Truth puts up a heart and winks through the heart. Freaking 4.5 stars. I love this guy. This is a great show. I'm so glad I watched it. Then we get the Judgment Day match with JD and Dom in a tag team match against DIY. And their intro has a glitch in it before they can come out. This match definitely got its time, and the long tag team match ends with DIY winning after Ciampa hits a DDT, I think on JD if I'm not mistaken, and then they do a meet in the middle, on JD for 4 stars. Commentary then goes backstage where Indy and Candice are talking to Pierce earlier today about being ready for a tag team title shot when the former champions interrupt. Chelsea Chelsea says the ref counted slow, and they'll take their rematch now. Pierce then actually steps up to them and sounds like an authority figure, telling them the ref's name and that it's a valid count. If they're looking for competition tonight, though, they can take on Candice and Indy. Indy then accepts the match for them and says that Chelsea can't count to 2. She's like, what? Oh, by the way, the ref did make it to 3. Can you not count to 2? Like something to that extent. And Chelsea plays it off and says that she accepts. And her and Piper walk off screen, not before Piper ends up grunting. And that's how we end the segment. 3.5 stars, because I'm still rolling off that positive wave. It's not that bad yet. I'll be generous to give it an extra half star. Then we go to a tag team match that ends with Candice and Indy winning. By the way, that's against Chelsea and Piper. Almost on accident, because Indy went for the pin even though she wasn't the legal participant. I don't know, but it was kind of sloppy, so we're back to 3 stars. Generosity is over. We then go backstage where Imperium, Sans Vinci are walking backstage. And come on, can I have 1 week where I have a full Imperium intro, please? Anyway, they announce this, that Gunter is coming out after the break. We come back from the break, and then we get a video package for Nia Jax. What the fuck is up with this? That's not Gunter. Then we go to a backstage segment where it's Judgment Day sans Priest this time, and Rhea immediately says that she has to go out to address her division. As she's leaving, Priest comes in, so I guess we flip the sans to sans Rhea this time. The team ask him where he's been, so he talked to Pierce, and he said he's talked to Pierce about having a match with Drew. JD then asks why aren't they beating up Truth, to which Priest runs him down immediately, saying that he should focus less on Truth and more on winning, basically. Finn then asks him if he's defending Truth, to which Priest then counters by showing them the money. JD asks if he gets cut, and Priest says his name isn't on the shirt, so probably not. Vince says, serious business though, let's focus on the match. Then they plug the match of Awesome Truth versus JD for later on tonight. Judgment Day this time. Alright, 4 stars, just calls the participants. I'm biased. On the ramp, Ludwig Kaiser has a spotlight on him and this cool background music that's just like Foley, but like aesthetic Foley, I guess. As he demands our attention for the return of the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, the Ring General Gunter. Wow, I think I relatively did that correct. Yeah. Self-high five. Blame Edge and Christian for that joke. Gunter then comes out as commentary hypes how he has the longest title reign, longer than a bunch of Hall of Famers, and how tonight is day 584 of his reign. They are in the ring when... Gunter and Ludwig. Didn't know which one I wanted to call him, so I just went Ludwig. Why not? But they're in the ring while Gunter's soaking in the booze. And he says that they're 2 weeks away from the Rumble, and he can feel and smell the desperation, as well as excrement, since they are in Arkansas. He then says all he saw when he was gone was everybody saying that they're going to win the Rumble and go to Mania. He then reminds everybody how close he was to winning the Rumble last year. I believe he was the second to last spot. And that he says this year he's going to win the Rumble and main event Mania. Please, we have 5 people announced for the Rumble already. Let me have some spots. Actually, you know what? Everybody else keeps on saying that, but I'm going to backtrack. I think, me personally, I think that it's okay to announce certain participants, but don't announce the whole thing. Like, they've done 5 at this point, so that's a third of a half. Oh gosh, I didn't do fractions. So half of 15. So, okay. There's 30 people. 15's half. So a fourth of that. Not a fourth of a half, but a half broken down into half equals a fourth. That would be, let's see, 10, that's 5, and then give me 2.5. So 7.5. So almost a little under a fourth of each division has been announced already for the Rumble. I'm comfortable with that. If you want to throw in a couple more names, okay. Just don't announce literally everybody in the Rumble next. Between, what do we got? 3 episodes. We have 3 episodes left. Don't announce everybody, please. Anyway, he then transitions into Kaiser reviewing what's happened while he was gone. he was reviewing Kaiser of what's happened since he's gone. We come back from that recap, and then Gunter praises him for his intensity last week. He tells him well done, and then hugs him. Xavier Woods then comes out and runs down Ludwig for what he did last week to Kofi, and unfortunately for him, Woods is here and wants a match. Ludwig heads to the ring. So Gunter hands him the microphone and tells him that the ring is all his as he leaves the ring. Ludwig then says what he did last week is nothing compared to what he's going to do tonight. He accepts. They brawl back and forth for a little bit, and then somebody separates him. I think it was the ref, as they go to the match after the commercial break. The match is a pretty back and forth match that ends when they go outside for a little scuffle, and then Kaiser throws a chair at Woods, but Woods ducks, so that way he doesn't he doesn't get hit the same way that Kofi did. And Woods ends up hitting Kaiser instead with the commentary chair to win by disqualification. Woods then goes to use the actual chair, but Kaiser drop kicks the chair, and it goes into Woods. He tries to do the running step thing, but as he's running back around to kick the steps, Woods hops up and gives him a double stomp. Woods then goes to hit him with the steps, but Kaiser dodges him and runs into the crowd to end the segment. Commentary then recaps what happened and goes to busted open mouthed Woods in the ring. 4 stars for brutality is what I put. At this point, I was thinking maybe there's hope in this show. Maybe it's not all going to suck. And I'll be honest, it's not all bad. It's not like a Vince era show, but God, it's kind of low. I guess they're saving it for the go home. It's okay. We then go to a backstage promo of Bronson Reed all dressed up penguin style, saying that there is a man who doesn't realize sooner or later that his title belongs to Bronson Reed. I think he's alluding to Gunter there, considering how last week played out, but he doesn't specify, so who knows? Who knows? We then come back from commercial where Byron tries to interview Woods, but as Woods is talking to him, Kaiser attacks him until Jay saves him. Anything related to the Woods-Kaiser thing is part of the 4-star frenzy from earlier. Commentary then transitions to a video package about the main event. After that, Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa with Maxime Dupree comes out to the ring for his match against Ivar with Valhalla to basically repeat what they did last week. It has a repeat ending of Ivar winning, which means it's going to get a repeat score of 3. At least I presume that's what I gave it last week. I can't care to remember. Alright. They then show a video recap, and now you understand why it's taken me as long as I have to care to watch this. For the first little bit, I was like, alright, I can get this out on Tuesday. And then it starts to become a boring show where you're just looking forward to the main event. So it took everything out of me as I'm rebuilding my energy to actually have enough energy to watch that. After commentary does whatever I just said, after the video recap, there we go, Punk said over social media that he's going to be on next week's Raw, and then we go backstage to Rhea walking to the ring. We then come back and Alpha Academy in its full are asking Maxine if she's okay, and Ivy says that Valhalla will pay for it. She runs into the screen and says that she will pay for what she's done. Then Gable says next week Master Gable will show Ivar what it means to be Alpha. 3.5 stars, just because if anybody else did this, it would have been 3 stars, but I really love Alpha Academy. Oh my God. Do I have to quote myself verbatim here? I'm having a conundrum. I don't want to say the words written down. Not because they're bad, but just because it's cringe if I say it, even though it's the character. Alright, I guess I'll be cringe. Hasn't stopped me in the past. Alright, I wrote down, then it's mommy time. She doesn't hit her pose in the corner. She just walks out and raises her title up in the air. And after the crowd chants for her, she says that she's tired of people like Nia Jax claiming that this is their division when it's hers. And this is a warning for whoever's the Rumble winner that if they want to waste their opportunity to challenge her, if not, then choose somebody else. Then Becky comes out and talks about their similarities in careers, says that the difference is that Becky won the main event of Mania, and that Rhea has the strength of a bear, Becky has the heart of a lion. Becky then flat out says she thinks Rhea might be better than her, but she needs to prove that she's not by taking the title from her and winning the Rumble and declaring that it's mommy versus the man at Mania. And she sold me on this match based upon that fiery promo. I really want to see this now. Rhea then says she wants her to win too and that she'll see her at Mania. If Becky wins a title opportunity, that would be awesome. That is my only note on this. I will say 4 stars based upon my participants. Yeah, my participants. I run the WWE. Based upon the participants and my nepotism/favoritism. Well, favoritism. I'm not related to either one of them that I know. All right, you know what? Just go on to the next scene. We then go backstage where Seth Rollins has a promo where he's in the cold and he welcomes everybody to Monday Night Rollins. For some reason, when they do this interview, it is like freezing where they are located at. Like you can see Seth's breath during this whole promo. I don't understand why, but all right. Jackie then asks him why to take the risk throwing down a challenge against Jinder tonight. And he says that the only way he's going to be a workhorse champion is by defending it every day. I want to put a pause in this real quick because, as I will mention later on, Seth gets injured, like for shootsies. I just want to say to everybody out there who's a wrestler that claims you are a workhorse talent, stop it. Everybody who says, oh, I'm a workhorse wrestler, ends up getting injured within like a month of them saying that. Please, stop it. Right, after that, Rollins brings up their history, how they went one-on-one in the past, but he said this is a different Jinder and that deserves a title shot. Commentary then plugs again the main event, and then we have the match of The Miz and theoretically R-Truth versus Finn and Priest with JD and Dom. So, like, as their Judgment Day is doing their intro, R-Truth is, like, a couple feet behind them, and they don't know he's coming out with them until they hit the ring, and R-Truth puts his arms around him, and Finn reacts, and Priest is just like, what are you doing? Before the match begins, Truth tries to tell JD to leave because he's not a member of the Judgment Day. I'll be honest, this whole saying JD's not a member of the Judgment Day thing is a good way to get him over. Alright, anyways, before the match begins, Truth gives them their cuts, except for JD. He tells him that he has to be a member of a Judgment Day to get it. Miz keeps on telling him that Truth is on his team. Truth and Finn start out the match, where Finn tries to beat him up, but Truth reverses it just like out of instinct thing, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to punch you, over and over again. But then Finn stomps on him, and Truth rolls out of the ring, attempt to get counted out during the break. When we come back from it, apparently Finn brought him to the ring and then tagged in Priest. Truth didn't know who swung at, so he took a punch at Priest. And then Finn then comes in until Miz tags himself in, and we have a match. And until Truth, I think, tags himself back in, yeah. And he accidentally hits a scissor kick on Finn. He apologizes to Dom, and Dom gets up on the apron. Then Miz punches him out. Then Truth punches JD out just for fun. During this time, Priest is like, what are you doing? Whenever Miz turns back around, Priest big boots him, and as his back is turned, R-Truth is pretending to wind up a punch. And then Priest turns around, and Truth is about to swing on him. Then Priest is like, what are you doing? We're cool. I thought we were supposed to be cool. You know, something like that. Until Finn tries to roll him up. Truth reverses it with something. And then Priest grabs him and gives him the south side of heaven. And he just looks at him and shakes his head disappointingly as he rolls out of the ring. And then Finn gets the win. 4 stars. Finn gets the win. 4 stars. Finn gets the win. 4 stars. I feel like I'm a broken record how many times I say that. We then go backstage to Jinder Mahal cutting a promo, cryptically kind of, saying basically that he will win tonight, but better than how I worded it. 3.5 stars. Then there's a tag team match between Shayna and Starks against Natalya and Tegan. Honestly, I hate skipping through this match. I love all the participants, but I'm ready for the main event. The only thing you need to know is that during this, Shinsuke cuts a promo angrily saying that during the Rumble, which by the way, he's in the Rumble, that he's going to win it. Okay, so actually during that promo, I just got to let you know that I have beef with closed captions because they decided to put the closed captionings over the subtitles that they have So the whole time that Shinsuke's cutting his promo, all I'm seeing is the words, all caps, speaking in a global language, blocking out like 3/4 of his text, basically. Also, earlier tonight, the tag team champs, were talking to Shayna's team, telling them that they're ready whenever, however, to challenge for the next team. Then Natalya and Tegan come in. Natalya says that they worked hard and they overheard the shit talk, basically, that Shayna's team was saying, and that they're ready for a match whenever, however. That's what set up this match. Okay, so skip to the end of this match because I'm just ready for the main event at this point. It's been long enough review. Sorry, I love all the competitors. But Team Baszler won 3.5 stars just because I didn't give it a chance, and I feel like that's a fair review or fair score. After that, they plugged next week's Go Home Raw, and then we had the main event between Jinder and with his backups. I forgot their name. Oh, by the way, Shanky is here finally. I think that's the right guy. If not, my bad. And Jinder is going against Seth. So, full disclosure, I'm not going to lie. Going into this, where I knew that Seth somehow injures his leg for realsies, really took my attention off of the moves and more on like Seth's knee, on how he lands the whole time. So, just keeping that in mind, I'm sure I could have rated this like higher than what I rated it, but I still think it's a fair rating. I don't think my review rating reflects that. And like I always say, my rating doesn't matter. Go out of your way to watch these matches. It doesn't matter what some joke of a wannabe commentator like me says. You have your own opinion. Anyway, as the match goes on, Priest ends up coming out too, so that way there's like 4 different obstacles Rollin has to get by to win. Rollin does a Eddie dive, as I call it, over the top rope, like to get back into the ring. He jumps over the top rope and splashes on Jinder, and then he transitions into a lion salt, and I think that's where he tweaked his knee at first. And then he does a pedigree, and you can tell that he messed it up worse by doing that. It's obvious that he's trying to work around it, but like he doesn't show it that all. Let me rephrase. It's obvious if you're like in the know, like 90% of us fans are, that he's working around it. But also, if you're just a casual viewer, you can't tell too obviously that it's going on. Priest gets up because he thinks there's a moment he could cash in, but then Drew comes out from the crowd, and they have a brawl backstage. There's 2 separate moments where the henchman tried to interfere. Oh yeah, the henchman. I completely forgot about Veer and the other guy. They tried to help Jinder on 2 separate occasions. Like one ends up using Priest's money in the bank and ends up hitting Seth with it. And then Jinder does like his version of the camel clutch. I think it's the colossal. Both of those gets only a 2 count. Jinder tries the colossal one more time, but it gets reversed for the stomp, I believe, to win. Okay, 4 stars. I rated it fairly. It might have got 4.5 if that injury didn't kind of like hinder Jinder. Sorry, I had to. If it didn't hinder the match as much as it did. I hope they continue to use Jinder in this like main event status, even if it's just a mini program. You know, it gives him some momentum, and I appreciate that. More importantly, though, I hope Seth is for real okay. That's going to suck if he has to give up his title due to this injury. Overall, I rate the show with, it doesn't matter what I say, 4 stars, I guess. No, 3.5. It's not as good as normal. Either that or I'm getting used to the Triple H formula. I said some shit after this, but none of that matters because it's obsolete now. Anyways, today's Monday, so I'll see you tomorrow, for the Raw review of 122-24. Friendly reminder, COVID's real. It's weird also. Wear a mask. Be safe. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.